Hello guys and welcome back to the Heart of the Holte. Dan Wiseman here, and we're going to be running you through with 5 things that Villa need to do to beat our opponents on Wednesday night in Champions-elect Manchester City. We're going to be looking at a recent win by Leeds over Man City, looking at what they did well, what Villa can learn from it in order to get a better outcome than we did in our 2-0 defeat at the Etihad back in January. These are just 5 things that I've picked up on that Leeds and other sides that have beaten City in recent years have done well, what's similar between those victories, and hopefully coming up with the 5 things that Villa need to do to walk away from Villa Park on Wednesday night with what would be an amazing 3 points. Let's waste no time. Let's get it. Now, the first thing that Villa need to do is, again, something that I saw Leeds do, and it's to make Man City play to your strengths. Now, it's not an easy thing to do, but we all know the prowess that Man City have in the middle of the park. Ilkay Gundogan, Kevin De Bruyne, Fernandinho, Bernardo Silva, even João Cancelo from that sort of wing-back come centre midfield position that he plays, means that Man City in the centre of the park are one of the best sides on the planet. And the way to do that is compact the centre of your defensive core, force them into the wide areas and force them to cross the ball in. Against Leeds United, Man City attempted more crosses than any other side has in the Premier League in one game this season with 36. But the interesting fact is that even against Leeds' 10 men, only 8 of them found a man in blue. If you make Man City play from the wide areas, put balls into the box, then you fancy Villa's back four to eat up those aerial duels against City's diminutive attackers all day long, and that could be key in keeping the ball out the back of the net. Now, the second point is quite an interesting one, because my advice to Villa would be to work smart, not hard. And you'd think that in order to beat Man City, you'd had to outrun them, outwork them in every measurable aspect. But the fact is, if you look at the recent trends from teams that have beaten them, they've actually covered less ground than Man City have. They're one of the most press-resistant teams in all of football. Get up to them, try and squeeze them, get in their faces, and they'll pass it around you, and they'll open you up as they love to do. Leeds' recent win saw them cover around, not a lot, but 200 metres less than Man City have, which you wouldn't expect. And if you go back to Wolves' win at the Etihad last season, where Adama Traore starred, it was the same again. Wolves covered less ground than Man City have. It seems the way to beat them then is to set up a good, strong defensive core, pounce on any errors, and make the most of your counter-attacks. Now, it's been well documented on the Villa Filler podcast that Villa's play, even without Jack Grealish, is overwhelmingly favoured down Villa's left-hand side. But in this game, probably more so than any other, Villa need to work really hard in being able to switch the play over to the right-hand side. And the reason I say that is because the weak spot in this Man City 11 is probably at left-back. It's a position that even since Guardiola's arrival, they've failed to nail down a consistent starter for. If you look at Benjamin Mendy, who at the best of times can be quite error-prone, Alexander Zinchenko is a player that I really like, but is a bit of a Swiss Army knife. It seems that no one really knows exactly where his best position is. And even João Cancelo, who's an inverted fullback, has had to play there at points this season and move over from the right-hand side. Villa need to target that position in the squad, and it seems that Bertrand Traore is going to be in the man that could be quite important in doing that. He had a decent game at the Etihad back in January, but at home, where he's been particularly standout this season, we need him to make the step up and make the most of that weak spot in the Man City team. Now, the third point in this preview might sound a little bit pie in the sky, but I believe the best way to beat Man City is when you've got the ball to go at them. Make it a contest, make it difficult for them, get players in between the lines, running in behind, and make it a contest. I don't believe that if you just sit behind the ball for 90 minutes, park the bus, set up shop, that against a side like City, who even against some of the best teams in the world can comfortably have like 70-80% possession and have such a wealth of different skills and abilities and ways to break you down and beat you, that you can just try and steal a plucky draw by defending hard. They will find a way to break you down. Villa have to, especially with this game at Villa Park, make it a contest, go at City, be brave in possession, and hopefully the quality that we have in the side will be enough to see Villa at least get a couple of goals. And for the final point in this preview, if we are to get the goals that I was talking about earlier, you have to be clinical. Villa are underperforming our XG by about 4 goals this season. If you rank the Premier League in terms of XG, this is one for you by the way, Dan Morgan. If you rank the Premier League in terms of XG, Villa would almost be in the top 6. We're 7th above the likes of Tottenham and Leicester. So it shows that Villa are creating the chances. But Man City allowed just 6.8 shots per 90 in the Premier League. They're the best in the league, unsurprisingly, in that metric. So Villa, as Leeds did, where they had just 2 shots and Stuart Dallas ended up scoring both, make the most of our opportunities. We haven't been very clinical this season, and we need to change it in this one if we are to get anything. So Villa fans, that just about rounds it up. Thank you so much for listening to this preview. We really appreciate it. Your unwavering support on this channel never goes unnoticed. Dan and I are absolutely loving this season and the opportunities that it's brought for us to get some really interesting content back to you guys. It's been a great season for the Villa, regardless of how it ends up. I think we can all agree we've taken massive leaps this year. But fear not, even when the season is won and done, we will be coming at you through the summer with loads of England content, loads of stuff around the Euros. Fingers crossed it should be a good one. So subscribe, hit that like button, get involved with the channel now whilst you can. You can say you were there from the start, because this summer it's going to be a great year for the Villa podcast. So enjoy, sit back, enjoy your weekend, and we'll see you on Wednesday with the Villa podcast. Up the Villa.